doing the work, spending your time and your energy. That is what is going to get you to your goal of financial freedom. How do I know this? Is because that is very literally what allowed me to get 103K solo, which allowed me to over a year now have quit this job. And also that is from being over 80K in the hole before I started my job. But I'm not going to tell you how to actually get more time and energy so they can be devoted to your work. That's another problem for another time. Your crippling gooning habit can wait for later. What I am going to deliver you though is much more important, and I'm certain is more important, which is to use what time and energy that you do have most effectively, starting and doing the work. Daily protocols that I use myself to train the skill of making the most of my specific situation at the specific time. So most likely you've already been told when you want to do work, this portion right here, right at the start is the hardest. And then once you overcome that, then the work becomes a lot easier to do. So then the advice from most people is, oh yeah, just fucking start the work. And once the work is started, then you can easily do the work. Well, what the fuck is that? If I could start the work, I would have already started it. So just starting it is not helpful at all. So to give you a real protocol is daily for me. What you can think about is start before you can think. If you want some sort of visual that you can attach to this so that you can remember it as much as possible, you can just think Stuntman method and you'll understand in a bit what I mean. So if you think of Jackie Chan or really any stuntman, they have to do some crazy stunts. Like they have to jump off like motorbikes or jump off a building into a pile of cardboard boxes and a mattress with shitty springs. The way that they do this, and if you listen to an interview from Jackie Chan, or I think honestly all stuntmen will think like this, is when they're doing a crazy stunt like that, the way that they get themselves to do it is to just do it before they can think about it. Because if they do think about it and they're gonna jump off the building and there's a cardboard box there, and oh fuck, is that cardboard box strong enough to hold me, and or I'm gonna like break my leg and get all fucked up, and then I'm gonna get knee surgery and then be fucked up for life, or oh shit, is that mattress like bouncy enough for me so I don't die, or is this motorcycle going to land on top of me and absolutely destroy me and blow up with the gasoline? Of course they wouldn't do it. Now that is the exact same thing for your work. Right here in this portion that is supposedly harder, and it is harder. If you've done any work, you know that the start is harder. It is harder because you still are not quite switched into that work mode. So you have all these different thoughts in your mind to convince you like, oh, maybe you should do this, you should do this, you should do this. Essentially, that difficulty is coming from the different options that you could have, and then the different also options that it could lead to in the future if you were to do this or not to do this. So by starting before you think, you almost skip this section right here and then get right into this section. And what I mean by that, like the specific, very specific protocol is right here, whether it is right when you wake up in the morning or right after your work, or as soon as whatever free time starts that you know that you would like to be productive in, is you go and open the browser, you type the first few words, you turn on your computer, you do the most minimal option that you can to just get your brain on the track of the work and get rid of all these other options. Slash the stuff away and get your mind only thinking about the work that you need to do, because your brain doesn't like to leave things undone. So by typing out those couple of words and then going doing something very simple, like you go make a cup of tea, you make a cup of coffee, you go brush your teeth if it's the morning, or do your little morning routine, do a little exercise. While you're doing those very simple things and having your mind clear, and since you already started before you started thinking, instead of thinking all the excuses, you now think about, oh, what is the next step? Because you already got your brain started on it, right? And now, once you are finished making your coffee or tea or whatever it is that you want to do, you can come back to the work much easier, because now you have a bunch of ideas in your head of how to move forward. So instead of thinking yourself away from all of this stuff, you just think yourself forward. Have that curiosity drive you forward. But okay, you might also be thinking now, if this is not right in the morning and it's maybe after work or whatever other free time, I'm most likely going to start thinking about not doing the work and getting all these excuses first. So what happens if you do accidentally first start thinking and then therefore have to face this mountain of all the distractions that you could go into? This is another protocol that I use and have gotten from gambling addicts. I don't know if you know who David Cho is. He's like one of the most world famous artists that is still alive and make billions of dollars on Facebook. He himself was a gambling addict at one time. And that's because he got shares from Facebook. He made billions of dollars, didn't really know what to do with it. So he just went gambling crazy. I don't know if that's a super accurate story. Like, don't go crazy on it. But the point is, the method that he used to stop gambling is what he calls play out the tape. And I specifically will call this mind vision, but you can call it whatever you want. Play out the tape is honestly a very good way to think about it. So if he was about to gamble and he used to gamble millions, lose millions, and feel good, honestly, from both the wins and the losses, because it's just like an emotional high, whether it's good or bad. So that gambling can be replaced with any distraction that you could possibly think of, whether it's anime, it's playing video games, it's whatever it is. Take that distraction and you can just visualize it. This ball right here. Insert any distraction you'd like here. Now you just do two things. You think, okay, play out the tape or visualize in your mind vision. What's going to happen here? If I were to do this distraction in the next hour, in the next day, in the next 10 years, what is going to happen? In the next hour, if you open the video game, you're probably going to play it and then not do the work. If it was anime, if it was orange YouTube, you know what's going to happen, right? You're not going to do the work. And then if you play it out 10 years, you're like, oh, if I do this every day, I'm just going to be a degenerate basement dwelling gooner in his basement, right? And then also play out the tape on if you were to not do it. And that is, oh, I'm consistently putting in the work. Every single day I'm doing a little something to make progress. And honestly, even after I've done the thing, maybe I still want to watch the anime and play the video games and do the dirty gooning in my basement. But I still did the productive thing. So after 10 years, oh fuck, I could have a whole business that I built out and still be doing crack in the alley. So point is, it shifts you from the right now, which is typically very easily swayed by emotions, to do the distraction or to not do the distraction, to out far, which you can very clearly see, like there's a huge gap here between if you were to do it and not to do it. And that allows you to switch more in a logical mindset and say like, oh, well, this is clearly the better option to not do the distraction, at least before the work. And then this can very quickly let you overcome this kind of hump of distractions at starting the work, if you want to say it like that. So with those two protocols, you are able to start the work. Now you have to be able to keep up the work and not get distracted in the middle of it. Because of course, if you started it and like 20 minutes later, you find yourself scrolling your phone for 2 hours, of course, that's not great, right? You want to be able to go for the full duration that you know that you have the potential to put in, but seemingly you can never actually do. But you're probably wondering right now, am I the guy to give you the right protocol to actually do that? Make use of your full potential. For those of you wondering, here is a 6-pack. So first protocol to doing the work. That is 50-50 is not 50-50. What I mean is if you imagine a pie chart, and this is your brain, you can sort of imagine it like your brain too. And one portion of you is doing work, and the other portion of your brain is also doing work. And as in work, I mean listening to a podcast, trying to learn about something, while the other portion of your brain is like typing some document out or making a landing page or researching something. A lot of people think this is fine. And you probably think this is still fine, right? Like listening to a podcast while you're doing some random work, it's fine. But here's the problem. If you switch this out to be something a little bit more physical, you could be like running and doing bicep curls at the same time. But think about it. Both of them are going to be half-assed. You can't really do two different things at once. It lowers the quality of both of them, and lowering the quality at a certain amount makes it so that you don't really get the results out of it. Because if you think about your work, and let's say your work is this box, in order to actually get the work done in a way that is going to get results and make progress, you have to reach this level of quality and have this level of focus in it. And let's say that's 80% of your brain power. But simply by adding one thing, you go immediately down to 50%. And this is always, you might think like, oh, if I'm just listening to something, that's only a little bit. But no. You're dividing it into two different tasks, no matter what you're thinking about. So if any type of work takes 80% of your brain power, and usually the work that is going to make the progress is difficult, so it's probably going to require more like 100%. And you're over here, you could work on it for hours, but you're not going to get anything out of it. And if you're not getting anything out of it, and you're feeling like it is a struggle, because you will feel like it is a struggle by diverting this attention, now slowly it's going to get pulled away from your work and go into this other thing that you started, which is like the video in the background, the music you're listening to, the notifications on your phone. It's gonna make your focus fragmented, so then you get distracted. So what is the actual very specific protocol to avoid this scenario? It is to procrastinate in your favor. And what I mean by that is only do one thing at a time. Say you will do this stuff later. You can always do it later. Once I get this work done, I will do the other thing later. So that will at least satisfy you to not exclude it. And then you can focus on the work, likely get it done faster, and then go do the other thing. It gets you the necessary quality back and allows you to train the ability to focus deeper, which then will make it so that you don't get distracted as easily within your work. Although some of you might be thinking, if I don't have music, or if I'm not listening to something, I can't really do the work. I'm not able to sit there in silence and do the work, or my background's noisy or something. What I do in that scenario, that is the other protocol that I use, which is my music protocol. So for music specifically, I do use it sometimes. Like typically I will just work in silence, but when I was a consultant, I talked to many consultants, and these are supposed to be high performing people, very intellectual people. Every single one of them, not a single one, did not listen to music when they do the work. I'm literally the only one who likes to work in silence, which is, I don't know. So I think most likely for you, you'd like to listen to music. But the thing is, the science, literally Andrew Huberman on one of his podcast episodes about focus and mental performance, he says that 100% of the time, the people that do work in silence, even if they do enjoy music while they work, perform better in the silence scenario. But this was a forced experience, right? They were forced to do some sort of task in silence, which makes sense that they do perform better in silence. But on your own, if that music is what's going to allow you to put in the hours that is necessary, and it honestly doesn't lower the quality that much, then you should use it. But pay attention to a couple of things. I'd say there's 3 different protocols that I use with music on a daily basis. Is one, if I'm really having a hard time starting the work, I will turn on the music. I will just turn it on to start the work. And then as soon as the music gets annoying, and for myself, the music very literally gets annoying within like 10 to 15 seconds of starting the work, because you could think about like lyrics or whatever drowning out my thoughts. I just feel sort of the irritation or friction from the music that is preventing me from going deeper. So I turn it off. So I just use it as a starting mechanism. And for you, have some awareness. If you think that music is just better at the start and not during, then do use that protocol. And number 2, if you literally can't avoid using the music, I would avoid lyrics, because if you think about lyrics and you think about your thoughts are typically words in your head, right? Things that you think out. And if other people are pushing words into your head, because you can think about the sounds that go into your ear, they literally go into your head, right? And if there are words, they will drown out your own thoughts or put you in a scenario where you're sort of like this and you can't fully dedicate your mind to the work for the necessary quality, then that's not going to work. So avoid lyrics. And number 3, if it's a very noisy background, you have a noisy house, there's people around you, you can't really work, you work in a noisy office. Alternatively, you could use things like brown noise, or if you're, say, working in a cafe, it could be like cafe noise, or you could have sound of the birds, the rain, the wind, waterfalls, something to drown out the background. But since it's not really any specific noise, it can very well, fade into the background and then allow your mind to focus better. So now you're able to dedicate your full potential of energy and time, although you may still have more specific problems towards starting and doing the work. You're a high-skilled employee, you're a business owner, you're an investor. You got these specific things that stop you from doing the work or get you distracted. You want to be able to make better use of your time. You want to be able to get high signal feedback from people that are working towards the goal of financial freedom, people that have done the financial freedom like myself. I actually do have something that can get you exactly that. If you're interested in, it's a free community. It's in the top link in the description. All right, now, so you're making the most of your specific situation. The problem is, what if your specific situation does not have enough time and energy to actually do anything at all? So now, if you do actually want to learn how to get more time, get more energy, then watch this video right here on how exactly I did that. Again, having to work this job right here for over 80 hours a week.